What's going on, everybody? It's Virtual Handhelds 24. I've been showing a lot of love to the Portal, but that's not to say I don't love my Evo. And I was doing some more testing with this refresh rate screen because this one goes up to 165, which is on auto. So let's change that to 165. It's in max mode. I'm just going to show off one of the games that handles really well with the Sadachi 400%. I had some questions the other day or yesterday regarding the settings. So I'm just going to go over that really quick. When you go to advanced settings and you go to graphics, you turn VSync off. That allows it to not sync with the frames per second. So most games go 30 to 60 or mostly 30 on Switch. So you can push it when it's not synced. And then you go into system and you push the speed limit to, oh, that's in dock. Let's take that out. Take that off dock mode, and you push that to 400%. When you do that, that allows it to push the frames per second. And then on top of that, if you have a device that has a screen refresh rate that's higher than 60, then yeah, you could push these games, some games, most games, yeah, not all games, some games are locked higher than 60 frames per second. So it becomes almost like a PC game. And if you don't put it in docked mode and you just configure the resolution to like 2 times, it'll go to 1440p, which is higher resolution than the screen could put out, but it doesn't push the system as much as when you put the system in docked mode. So be aware of that. So you could get away with high frame rates and a better resolution. But today we're just going to keep everything low because we want to, again, see how we can push this device to get the most out of those frames per second. And Cruis'n Blast was the one game on that I've found out so far, especially with the Portal. It was a stable 120. It dipped here and there, but for the most part, it was 120 throughout the game, or the first level I played. So we're going to do this one. And I'm just going to go over the settings. So everything should be, yeah, not docked mode. It's 400%. It's at 1x. VSync is off. Nothing there. And then aspect ratio is 16:9. I have to just leave that. And then I don't have it force maximum clock Adreno because I don't think I'll need that. So we're just going to see if we could get higher than 120 because this refresh rate screen goes up to 165. I don't know if we'll get to 165, but I want to see if we get higher than 120. So let's get it. Turn it up too. See, I mean, right here in the menu, it goes straight to 165 because it's not doing anything. But once we get to gameplay, I'm sure that will change. All right, right away we're at 140. Ooh, 160. 157. 162, 163. 164. 165. We did it. Look at that. 164 still. 165. Sorry for chewing gum too. And again, this is my lunch. This game is so much fun though, and just in general. I had just picked it up for my Nintendo Switch like a couple months ago because I was testing Horizon Chase 2 on other devices. And I was like, man, this game looks fun too. It's a racing game. Sure, it'll be just as fun, if not more. And I used to play the Cruis'n USA on the 64. I was like, oh yeah, this game's gotta be fun. Updated graphics and everything. Look at that, 165. Yeah, I didn't come in first, but I wasn't paying attention to that. So there you have it. This is one of the few games that takes advantage of this refresh rate screen, which is insane, 165 frames. We hit that several times. We were in the high 60s or 160s, high 150s for the most part. This is amazing. Also, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. To push this to get the most out of it, what I also did was I have my Switch games, like I was sedated earlier in another video, that I have it on a SD card. But this SD card is like just the 1.5 ScanDisk one. It's nothing special. It's like the speeds aren't that fast, I would say. So I moved it to the internal storage. And I know for Switch games, you don't necessarily need to have it running on internal storage because they're a Nintendo Switch. But I figured to get the most out of it, I'll put it on my internal storage, and I did that. So I made another thing right here. This is the internal storage, and I put Zelda on there too. I'm going to be testing that out, see if we can get a better consistent frame rate and a higher frame rate for that matter. Because I've noticed like there's stuttering and stuff going on with some games running on the SD card when we're pushing the frames. And I'm like, why is that happening? I changed the thermals. As far as the Wi-Fi, it is what it is, but the device itself, there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm like, why isn't it running smoothly like the Portal is? It can't be like just the chipset or whatever. It's got to be something else. And I realized it's I don't want to take it out, but it's the 1.5 terabytes, the regular ScanDisk card that you get on Amazon. It's usually on sale, but it's not like the Extreme. It doesn't have fast reads. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put it on the internal storage because this one, this version of the Evo, the 12 gig model, has the upgraded speeds for the internal storage versus the 128 gig model. And sure enough, like I was like, okay, this game should run at least 130. And sure enough, we got 165. So keep that in mind. If you have a Pocket Evo, you want to do this kind of stuff, want to do the same thing, push the frames. If you have a bigger Switch game and that's what you're emulating, I would suggest putting it on your internal storage versus a micro SD card. Even like an Extreme, like an A2, whatever SD card, I still feel like the internal storage is going to run it faster so you can get more frames per second. So definitely recommend putting those on your internal storage. Now this is only 256 gigs, so here we go again, running out of space. But you don't have to put every game, just like the bigger games that you want to take advantage of. Like I'm not going to put many more on my internal storage, but just to see if we can get the most out of it. Like for Zelda, obviously I had already moved it. And in case you guys don't know, which I'm sure you all do know, but in case you don't know, you go to game folder and you can add another location, and you could just make a folder and put it on your internal storage, and then you can sure enough add it there. But what's cool is once you do that, it'll all sync up. So your library will still stay the same because Cruis'n's on the internal. Everything else besides Zelda is on a micro SD card. But as you can see, everything's together. So it all works out. You just got to pick and choose what games are, bigger, harder to run. You probably want to move it to the internal storage. I wish it wasn't the fact for Nintendo Switch, but what we just found out right now is bonkers. It's obviously because of the speeds. It's reading it faster, puts out more performance, and this is a good way to take advantage of this device. I mean, we all paid for it. We know what it costs. We know what we had to deal with, so we might as well get the most out of it. But if you made it this far, again, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.